Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Sidewinder Shed. I'm this is Saturday, December 27th, and somewhere around 9:30 in the morning. Ooh, 9:44. I've been trying to get on for about 45 minutes or so. Unfortunately, I have an old laptop, and the thing got unplugged during the Christmas, and took it 45 minutes to remember what it's supposed to do. But anyway, first responder garage. Oh my God, Damien, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I hope you had a good Christmas, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Haven't talked to you, and I still owe you those damn parts from the transmission that I promised I would send you. Not to mention, I also promised you I'd send you the recipe and everything for my hot wings, and I'm terrible. I'm terrible about that. But anyway, and here's Philip.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Philip.
I gotta screw around with this phone. Hold on.
I gotcha.
See if I can get this thing right. Uh, yeah,
And
that's not helping.
Damien from First Responders Garage is here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you're doing good. One-eyed cat. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm going the wrong way.
But anyway, I hope
I'm scooting one way, and I'm seeing it in the camera. I'm supposed to be going the other way.
I do that all the time.
Mm-mm.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
This is my left hand, but I'll go this way here to get closer to it.
Yeah. So how's it going?
It's going good. It's going
Mhm.
good. We had a good Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah, grandkids were wild, of course, but I'll tell you what, I've been off for 8 days so far, and I don't know what's up, Philip. I've been more tired
Yeah.
in these
Oh yeah.
last 8 days than I have been at work.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah, I got the whole rest of the year off myself.
Oh
I
yeah.
got all of next year off too, by the way.
Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't have to be back to work until the 12th.
Really?
Yep.
That late?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I took an extra week off. We
Yeah.
usually get.
You getting it paid?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everything is
Okay,
paid.
that's good.
Not
That's
not
good.
not full price, because I
No,
usually work 14 hours a day,
right. They're
but you
gonna
only
pay for
pay
like
me 8.
40.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, 8
mhm,
hours a day, 40 hours a week. Yep.
yeah. I had a company that cheated me out of my dang uh, vacation pay once because I took it during the holidays. So they
Oh yeah.
considered it my holiday pay, you know,
Yep.
or not holiday pay. They considered it my vacation time because I took it during the week of the holidays that I would have otherwise got anyway. You see.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, I'll be honest with you, my company's doing the same thing. See, this year where we work, all right, we shut down for a total of 6 weeks during the year. All right. If you add it all up, we're shut down for 6 weeks out of the year. And normally, what they do is they pay us what they call shutdown pay, and that does not interfere with our vacation pay or
Hmm.
anything else. And normally, we get a week off. We used to get 2 weeks off in July. But they cut it down to a week that they shut down. And
Hmm.
then Christmas time, though, we get, depending on where the holiday falls, we will get anywhere from 2 full weeks to sometimes 3 working weeks, 15 work days off to
Uh-huh.
include the most of the time at least 2 weekends, sometimes 3 weekends. So we can have as much as 21 days off
Uh-huh.
total, including the
Yeah,
weekends. And
3 weeks, right?
yeah, and they used to pay us, for every work day, basically 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Which is
Shut down.
15 of the 21, which ain't bad.
Yeah, well, they don't pay us for the weekends because we don't work
Yeah.
weekends. They just pay us
You're
a
not
straight.
not regularly scheduled.
Right, right. But what they did this year, they did two things, and they played dirty about it too. I get uh, I get 3 weeks vacation plus another week, personal and sick time off. So I get a month off every year that I can use at my discretion.
Right.
Well, they started, if you don't use your vacation, you can only carry 1 week over.
Yeah.
They will pay you for your sick time at the
Yeah.
end of the year. And if you don't use your personal days, yeah, you lose them. So that's always been. And we're like, okay,
My
well,
wife. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, in November, they finally said, no, I'm sorry, if you don't use your vacation time, you're going to lose it. We're not paying you for it. And if you don't use, I'm like, my hire date's in December. This ain't right. And we're fighting it through the courts right now anyway. So what they decided to do this year is, instead of giving us the shutdown pay, kind of like what they did to you, instead of giving us the vacation or holiday pay, we're using what we have left over from
Yeah.
our vacation. Now I only had a week, but they're taking that away from me, and they're not paying me
Yeah.
the shutdown pay for that week. But for the rest of the time I'm off,
Yeah.
they're paying me the shutdown pay, except at the beginning of the year, I used 1 week of next year's vacation. And I was like, I was so irritated with them.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it. We have a 3 week shutdown, okay? Almost a 3 week shutdown. Now, after you all did us that dirty, do you think I want to come back and help you start up again? There's a lot of work involved.
Yep.
I was like, no, y'all take care of it.
Yep.
Y'all do it without me.
That company I told you that did me like that, what they did was I had put in a request for my vacation time, because I had worked for the company like 5 or 6 years and never got a single paid vacation,
Yeah.
and in that state at that time, that was law, as part of the Fair Labor Standards Act, because I was considered full time. And I was pointing that out to the old man that owned the company. I'm like, I've been here all these years, you haven't given me a paid vacation yet. And I says, no, I want one. And I wasn't asking, I was telling him, and I told him when I was going to have it. And he just went, okay, yeah, you can take off that time. Yeah, I'll pay you for your, knowing damn good and well what he had up his sleeve. And that was that I was going to get that paid holiday time anyway. So he just rolled it into that, my vacation time, into that holiday pay. And then when I figured out, when I came back and started getting my checks again, I'm like, wait a minute, where's my vacation time? He's like, well, it's there. And I'm like, no, this is for the holiday. Where's my vacation? He's like, no, that's the whole thing. That's what you did,
Yep.
I'm like, well, you dirty son of a bitch,
Oh, I hear you, man. And Eric's at a Christmas party right now, but he wishes everyone a Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't see what's on there right now, so all I can see it. I mean, it's nothing on your end; it's on my end.
I got you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
I got you. Well, Eric's also on mute, so he's just reading the comments, and you're on screen and you're talking but not reading the comments. So yeah, maybe later on when you watch the recap.
Yeah.
That's why I try to put all the comments up on the screen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I had to be on my toes Christmas Eve, that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got you.
These women keep asking Santa Claus to bring him the perfect man for Christmas, so I was afraid he was going to kidnap me, you see.
Yep.
So I had to be on my toes.
Yeah, well, I see you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I see you're still here.
Yeah.
But other than that, how'd everything go? You have a good Christmas?
Well, it was this neighbor lady down the street, she invited me for dinner on Christmas. About the dinner was supposed to be at about 4:00, but I tell you what, I just wasn't feeling well, and I was concerned because the day before Christmas Eve day, I was with another neighbor lady. We went into town. We had to go to the grocery store. Boy, what a circus that was.
Oh
I
my
don't even
gosh.
start on
Yeah,
that.
I gotcha.
In fact, the only place to park, it's a, big chain grocery store with big parking lots, and there was no place to park. I was actually parking in front of a construction equipment down the line,
Oh,
blocking
good.
him. But I knew that no one was going to be moving that construction
Oh,
equipment
yeah.
on Christmas Eve, so I knew I was good to
Yeah.
park him in,
Yep.
But anyway, when we went and did that, she was telling me that she wasn't feeling well, and then she texted me Christmas Day asking how I was feeling. I'm like, I feel fine. She's like, well, I'm sick as a dog. She's like, so I got something, and I wanted to make sure you weren't catching it. But this is only the day after, right? So
Yeah. It takes a little
so I'm
while.
going to take myself some zinc pills because that seems to help a lot,
Oh, yeah. I hear
and
you.
and maybe I'll go in and take some zinc because I mean I'm just getting started this morning. I kind of lazed around all morning. Uh, I even had to program Bugs Bunny to record because I didn't want to miss that.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
But you know what I also noticed there for some reason they was rebroadcasting NHRA Top Fuel Drag Racing from ZMAX Dragway. So I've got that program to record. I'll watch that later.
I gotcha. And Eric
Oh.
wanted to know where my Christmas decorations are. They're actually all
In the house.
in-house. Yeah. Yeah. Because we can kind of control the grandkids a little bit better. I'm not saying we can actually control them, but the way we control them in the house is we send them out here. Get the hell out of the house where everything breakable is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
think that was a matter of fact. I can remember being a kid and in the summertime when we didn't have school, and my mother would do just that. She'd run us all out the house and then lock the doors, and she did that just so she could clean the house because, running after, walking up behind 4 kids, constantly in and out and in and out and in and out.
oh
She
yeah.
couldn't keep the house clean, so she'd send us out and lock us out. We just you
Oh, yeah.
didn't get to skip lunch. You didn't get, you didn't get anything to eat. So, but you know what I did a lot of, because you could do this back in the day. You could be an 8 and 12-year-old kid, just grab your fishing pole and walk down to the river about a mile away and go do some fishing.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
And parents didn't have to worry about their kids. Matter of fact, nowadays if you let a kid wander off a mile from home and go do some fishing, that dang police and child family services and everybody else will be showing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like where I grew up. I grew up. There was a river that ran right through my backyard. I had 2 ponds and a swamp, not to mention all the woods and everything. It was nothing. Like you said, it was nothing for us to grab a fishing pole, either go frog gigging or catch some fish or even squirrel. Even a squirrel. I had a BB gun.
Yeah.
And but the thing was too, we never did this just for sport. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, it was kind of a sport, but we also grew up with the fact that if you're going to take an animal's life, you're not going to do it.
Eat it.
Yeah, you better do something with it, even if you don't
You got to
actually.
justify that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do it. Well, I shouldn't say I don't, because I'll tell you what, we got these feral hogs down here, and they're just a menace to society
yeah.
here, And I won't hesitate but to pop one. Now I won't shoot a deer, but I won't hesitate to get me one of them feral hogs because they just create all kinds of problems. But let me tell you this story. We're getting back on the fishing. One of the things that we had there in that river was what was known as buffalo carp, and they were huge.
Oh, okay.
And there was also the only carp that you was legally allowed to spear. So we go spear fishing with them. And or you could do bow and arrow, with a string on it. But the best place to go to get them buffalo carp, catching them on the line or whatever you wanted to do, was a park that was called Fabian's Park. And it's actually between the towns of Batavia, Illinois, and North Aurora, Illinois. And there's historical significance to that park. It used to be the estate of this couple that was well-to-do, because they were actually government contractors. They were brilliant people, and they were this couple was actually American citizens that were working on the sides of the American military back during World War II for the as code breakers. You know,
Okay.
they were both professors and whatnot. This husband and wife couple, and they were code breakers, and they helped to, you know, with that Enigma machine, helping to break the
Yep.
code on that
Yep.
and everything. And so, yeah, and so now today, once they passed away, and they had a really nice estate, this real nice place on the river, and the state took it over and made a park out of it, and their house they actually turned into a museum, you know, and it was. I can remember being a kid going in there all the time, you know, and learning all that stuff. So, yeah, that's
Oh,
an
yeah.
interesting story, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And Eric just said, if you're going to be on for 4 hours again, I might just come in later. And he's got to take off. All right,
Yeah, I
Eric.
can't stick around too long myself because, well, I just got things I got to get done.
Oh,
Plus,
I hear you.
I'm expecting company about noontime, so, and I got to get things in order here in the house first, you know. So,
I gotcha. But my God, yeah, you know, and speaking of Christmas this year, the wife was running around and she's like, you know, things are a little tight. We're doing good. I mean,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, we caught up on everything. But she was a little disappointed and she's like, I really didn't get a whole lot for the grandkids, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm fine with that because I do all the wrapping. All right. Well, yeah, I started rapping and I didn't quit until about 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, I was like, Chris, how much more? Oh, not much, not much. There was in between the four grandkids, which really isn't a lot comparatively speaking, but there were 23 gifts just for the grandkids. Okay, that's not including anything else. But I mean, you break it down, that's only about 5 a piece. But I started thinking, you know, at times, and I started remembering, you know, when I was a kid, I'm the youngest out of 16. You know, and not to mention, yeah, I did get a lot of presents because by that time, you know, my older siblings had kids of their own too, and so they always bought something. But I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my God." You know, my folks must have started wrapping sometime around September, just hiding the stuff.
You know, two things. So there's that guy Bruce. I forget his last name now. He's got a YouTube channel. He's putting stuff up on YouTube, and I like the guy because he's funny. But he's that guy that's on that show, Swamp People.
Oh, okay,
He's
yes.
a little short, chubby guy that wears the bib overalls with no T-shirt or nothing on,
Okay,
and
yep,
the bandana on his head all the time.
yep.
But what he's doing on his YouTube channel is he's showing a lot of his cooking. You know,
Okay,
that's what
yeah.
he does. And he's also promoting that show Swamp People and how there's new episodes coming out in like February or whatever.
You know, I
And,
caught a couple of those videos of him
and
cooking and
there's two of
everything.
them that
Yeah.
there's two of them. One of them I'd like for you to see because it's funny. The other one, I'll send you the link because he's got a new spin on deviled eggs that you got to check out. So I'll send you that link.
Is he doing the fried deviled eggs?
Yeah, exactly. Deep
Yep.
fried deviled eggs,
I
you know?
think I saw that one. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the other one I like is he's talking about how he's got back in like September, he was buying Christmas presents for his wife, and he's got the perfect hiding spot. He wants to show you, and you see him walk in the house, walking through the house, gets to the kitchen, opens up the oven, and it's full of Christmas presents. He's like, you'll never find them there.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
But we know why, you know, because he's the one who does all the
Does
cooking.
all the
Just like
cooking, yeah.
just like when my wife was alive, I did all the cooking, you know. I'll tell you what, it would be funny. My wife would come and was wanting a spoon to stir coffee or something. She didn't know what drawer it was in. You know?
Now, for me, if I want to hide something from my wife, I just got to put it up on the fridge.
Just put it above her head, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Never look there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like, you know,
I used to joke with this guy. I've talked about him before. There's a neighbor, Mike, down the street. This guy is about 6'6", about 280 pounds, just a big giant man. But he's old now, and he's already had both of his hips replaced, and he needs knee replacement surgery. And the point is that he can't bend over and pick anything up off the ground. And I joke about, how do you put something out of reach of a 6'6" tall man? You just put it on the ground.
Yeah.
You can't get it, But, and he didn't think that was funny.
My buddy Sean, he's tall. He's a very tall person. And the problem we have when he comes over here, I have to be careful because let's see if I can show it. Let's see if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see the fan up there or the light fixture.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to show.
Yeah,
is that ceiling fan.
Yeah.
Well, where I'm sitting, it's right over my head. I know it don't look it, but it's right over my head. So whenever he sits right here where I'm at, every time he'll stand up, and those fans are metal. Thank God it's got a cage on it, because he hits it every time, and it's not on a swivel or anything. That thing is solidly mounted, and it's like, geez, Sean, you got to be careful. And he just walks around here, and he's like, Hobbit. I feel like I'm in
this house here, and my old house, they all had 7.5-foot ceilings in it, which is, that's a low ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's just it. In this house here, I have a ceiling fan that must hang down another foot below that. So that ceiling fan's like 6'6". And then you got the pole chains hanging down. I'll walk right into it, catch that. There's a little metal end, like a hard piece of cast aluminum as the end of the pole chain. That sucker catches me right smack dab in the middle of the forehead every time,
Well, I'll tell you
in the kitchen, there's this pot hanger that's mounted to the ceiling, and you hang your pots off of it.
Okay.
But with only a 7.5-foot ceiling, the pots are hanging right at your nose, so.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, my house, I got the full 8-foot ceilings. And I'll hold on a second here. One-eyed cat's got to go. Oh, wife has a honeydew list for him.
Yeah, I got my own to-do list.
I got you. All right, One-eyed cat. Well, thank you for stopping by, buddy. You have a good day, and take care of that. Take care of that list, and I hope your wife feels better. She's not feeling well today, but like I said, I got the full 8-foot ceilings and everything. We got ceiling fans in every room, and that's mostly for the summertime. It helps with the air conditioning, circulate the cool air and everything. And anyway, the problem with that is, ceiling fans don't hang down low. But again, the wife is almost 5'1". Her words, not mine.
Yeah, almost.
In other words, she's 5 foot tall.
That's like all the women that I know seem to be short, except for the lady who comes and cleans for me. She's tall for a woman. She's like 5'10". That's tall for a woman.
Oh yeah, but you're talking about the chains and everything to control them. Yeah, well, so that she can reach them. I run into the same problem. I get like 2-foot chains on the things instead of 6 or 8 inches, so she can reach them. And everyone else is constantly thump, walking into the damn things. Oh, especially if no lights are on, and you're trying to like 3 o'clock in the morning. I might have to get up. I'll go to make my coffee. Won't be any lights on. I'll walk through the living room and I'll boink. I'm like, son of a! You'd think I'd know where the damn thing is. And that's
my wife always liked to decorate them. She'd get these little, because you can buy these little pole knobs for your ceiling fans. And they got them in all kinds of decorative designs. My wife would always get the cut crystal ones that were about the size of a kitchen knob, a cabinet knob, And my saving grace was that in the dining room, we had the dining table right underneath the ceiling fan, so I didn't walk into that one.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, you catch one of them glass crystal knobs right in the forehead.
Oh yeah,
That's enough to
that'll get your
that's enough
attention.
to piss off the Pope. Let me tell you. Yeah.
That'll definitely get your attention in the morning. But yeah, it's funny, and I shouldn't pick on the wife, but I do. The only problem is, I have a platform where everyone says, can hear me pick on her. Don't let me fool you. She gives it right back to me, and it's all
Yeah, right.
it's all in good
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
fun,
That's like this gal down the street that I've talked
Twisted
about. Mentioned.
Mopar, good morning.
She might be only 5 foot tall. She might be 93 pounds soaking wet. But I'll tell you what, she's a tough old girl, and she can dish it out just as well as she can take it.
Oh yeah.
You know what they say? Dynamite comes in small packages.
Yep.
And
Oh,
that's exactly what she is. She's a pistol. Let me tell you.
my wife loves to refer to herself as not short or petite or anything. She just goes around and says, "I'm fun size."
One side, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
I
the
was
little
working
candy
with a
bar.
gal that I liked her shirt. It said I'm not fat, I'm fluffy.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes very close to I'm not out of shape. Round is the shape.
Round as a shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're damn right.
But or I'm not, you can't say this anymore. People get upset, but I'm not fat. I'm just under tall.
Yeah, under tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Twisted Mopar Garage. Yes, sir. My God. He's hoping everybody had a good Christmas. And yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. We did so far anyway. And
Mhm.
my God, I was watching a few of your videos the other day.
Yeah, I'm
And
still waiting on that John Deere green paint.
oh yeah. But yeah, good Lord. Yeah, hey, I appreciate everyone popping in and saying hi and everything. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe Saturday mornings are a better day for you than Sunday mornings are,
Yeah, it could be, but you know what I think it is, Philip?
Mm.
I think it's because they see you on and everybody pops on. That's why that's why I think, I
You're
can't
waiting
really,
for a story, huh?
yeah. Yeah. Well, Twister said he hasn't forgotten about the John Deere paint yet.
Yeah, good. Yeah, see, I can't see it. I don't have that other phone out here right now, so I can't use it as a monitor.
I
Of course,
got
last week when I had it out here using it as a monitor, the delay was so far behind that it wasn't doing me any good. So that's why I'm not even bothering to do it now. But
I got you. Well, I mean, when I do the live streams, that's why I use this the laptop because it gives me more options. It's easier to see everything because I have the same StreamYard for my phone, and believe it or not, my phone has more memory and everything than this old laptop does, and it works just as well, except for the fact that it doesn't have the same screen setup. I can only see the well, like on your phone, I can only see the video and everything, and if I want to read,
well, in order to see what's going on here, I got to zoom in on the screen, and when I zoom in, then it cuts off all the comments.
hello, yeah,
So,
same here,
yeah, and I mean, I could zoom the screen back out and be able to see the comments, but you'd constantly be seeing me doing this, going in and out and in and out and in and out.
Oh yeah,
So I
here.
just leave it.
Same here. And when I've done a couple of live streams on the phone, and it's usually set up on the tripod, and so yeah, it's the same thing. You'll be seeing me, and all that, and it's not worth it unless I'm somewhere where I can't use the laptop because the battery on the laptop is no good, so I have to plug it in.
Same with mine.
Yeah, in order
mine's so old. In fact, I think it's got that what's it called? Yeah. Windows 10 on it, and they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even support that anymore. And the thing's it's just about done, and I haven't even tried doing the laptop during the live stream of your show because chances are it's not going to work. What I do with that on other podcasts and whatnot is I'll use it as my big screen, but I'll still be using my phone to send messages or whatever,
Right. I
And
got
I just use it as the big screen because of these, I can't see that well anymore. So the bigger the screen, the better for me.
I did have this set up, and I did do one or two videos, not live stream, but videos where I had actually no, I'm sorry, I did a live stream. That's right, I did. I did a live stream, but at the same time, I recorded on my phone to make a video that
Yeah.
I could upload later, and that was on cooking potatoes, making
Yeah.
some home fried potatoes out in the shed, and I live streamed it, and then I also did
You're
a video
recording with
too.
the other camera, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
did that with I did that back when I was at the other place because I had my tablet which can shoot video
Mhm.
and at the time I was signed in on my tablet as well as my cell phone to the YouTube to upload. So there's two videos on there that are the same video just shot with two different cameras.
Right, 2
But
different
because I
angles.
don't have the technology to do a side by side or anything, you have to watch both videos to tell that it's the same thing, just shot from two different angles.
I gotcha.
But there was one person that caught up on it. He was quick to catch that.
Yeah,
One of the
well,
guys that follows me. So
reason I did this is, yeah, at the time, I wasn't sure if the live stream would upload
yeah,
at the time, and so I wanted to have that video anyway.
yeah,
And it turns out they both uploaded. They're both
yeah,
on my channel.
yeah.
And it's actually kind of cool because you can see I edited the video, okay, both for language content and a few other things.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a G-rated version, and then you have the R-rated version. Yeah, with all the mistakes
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
else, and it's kind of like, yeah, this is raw live because
Mhm.
I didn't edit the live stream, which I found I can do now. I
Mhm.
can edit a live stream once it's posted.
Yeah.
I can take
Yeah,
it,
that's the
go back,
it's
but
not above the technology that I have. It's
yeah,
above my technology to be
hello,
able to do it.
yeah, yeah, operator operator error and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way. And
Well,
it's
listen, I need to go in the house for just a second. I'm going to let you take a look at the greenery here while I run in the house for a minute. All right?
all right, sir. And I'm just gonna babble for a
Yeah,
second.
just babble for a couple minutes.
Yep, and yeah, it's funny because years ago, back in the '90s and everything. Well, actually, all growing up, I was always a bit of a nerd, I guess, or whatever. I was always into computers and new technology and everything like that. I always loved that stuff. And in the '90s, I used to build computers. And actually, no, I started in the '80s, and I actually started with a Commodore 64, Commodore 128, and I learned some programming, COBOL and BASIC, and oh god, I forgot what it's called now, but they still use it today, the computer language to program stuff. And I messed around with the old Commodores, and then I got into the IBM 8086s, and then the 286 and the 386, and this is before plug and play, where you had to program and tell the computer where everything was, what it did, its parameters, and I even used to write my own BIOS, BIOS, for the computer. I always hated that stuff. I didn't mind the physical putting things together, but I always hated programming, or what they call now coding. Um, but yeah, no, then I used to, when the Pentiums came out, I was still building 46 computers that were faster than the Pentium 100s when they first came out. And these were a lot of gaming computers at the time. And for half the price, and this was mail order, I had to wait snail mail. for everything. But I could order through a magazine too. I could order through a magazine, snail mail, the motherboards, the processors, the memory, everything I needed, and I could put together what a custom built gaming computer with all the top end stuff for it for about less than half price of what you could buy it off the shelf. And of course, I built them for people. And when I did, though, here the one of the problems was they had a stack of papers for every component, and each one had its own warranty. And it's like, well, yeah, here's the downside of it. If you want the warranty, because I'm not going to warranty the damn thing, but if you want the warranty, fill out the paperwork, send each one in, and there's about 15 or 20 of them, and have at it. But nowadays, yeah, it takes me forever to get this 10-year-old laptop up and running if it gets unplugged. Because even the backup battery on it is dead. So it doesn't remember anything, and I got to start from scratch, just like it's a brand new one that crashed hard. And you got to tell it everything. Come on, dog. That's why I keep getting up and down and coming in and out here, because
I got you saying you're talking about the dog. I got to tell you this. So this dog that I told you that I had, she's passed away now, but it's kind of a cute story. That for years, my wife would always tell me, she'd say, I think the dog's got to go outside. Yeah. Now, no matter what it was I was doing, I'd have to stop what I'm doing and take the dog out, because the dog would be like, what?
Oh yeah, yep.
I get to go outside. Woohoo! She's all excited.
Oh yeah.
No matter what I was doing, I have to stop what I'm doing and take the dog out, because the dog knows about going outside.
Oh yeah.
Only my wife would use her name. She called the dog BB. I called the dog Butters, but she'd respond to either name.
I gotcha.
And my wife would say, BB needs to go outside. And dog jump up all happy. Ooh, I get to go outside. And no, like I said, no matter what I was doing, I'd have to stop and take the dog out and walk her.
Number 2.
And so one day, I said to my wife, I says, I wish you would come up with some kind of other code, because you get the dog all excited, and then I got to stop what I'm doing and take the dog out for a walk.
Yep.
So I said, we got to work on some kind of code or something that the dog doesn't understand. And so then one day my wife says, she says, I think the DOG needs to go OUT.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, that's pretty good code. I says, but one day this dog's going to learn how to spell,
Oh, they will.
and that's not going to work either,
Yep.
And my wife thought that was ridiculous, But here's what happened whenever she'd be gone at work or, out shopping or whatever, whenever she's gone from the house, I would train the dog to respond to the name DOG. I call her DOG. Come on, DOG. Come on, DOG. Let's go OUT. I would do this. So now the dog was relating this DOG and OUT to going outside.
Yep.
So one day my wife says, I think the DOG needs to go OUT. And the dog just jumps up and is all happy. She knows she's going outside. I told her, I said, see, I told you that dog would learn how to spell.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And here is the thing. That's when the dog's name changed. It was no longer BB or Butters. It was DOG.
Okay. I got you.
Because she would respond to DOG.
Yep.
Here comes the car. I don't know who this is.
Oh, yeah, we saw it there. So we got it on video in case anything happens.
I don't know who that is. Somebody in a Ford truck. It might be the people that bought my property. Every time they come by, they're in a different vehicle. I don't know how many vehicles they got. I noticed that they're all new ones.
Oh.
So I guess I sold that property to the right people.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Their dang money.
here's the thing. Since you said they're all new ones, that doesn't surprise me either, because
Mhm.
you buy a new vehicle and every other week it's in the shop, so you need a second one, and then
Oh man, you're not kidding. I was just watching that Dave's Auto Center out there in Utah or whatever,
yep.
and there was a couple of videos that I caught. Brand new Camaro, 30,000 miles on it, the engine shot.
Oh
Well,
yes,
it's LT4 engines, and we all know what that problem is because GM decided to go with this 0W30 and 0W20 weight oil.
yep.
And they're just failing like crazy because of that, So, but yeah, I just, you know what? And Ford, everybody's having those problems.
yeah.
The Dodge, these engines in some of their Dodge trucks are failing on. Ford's engines are failing, and and it doesn't matter if it's a Ford, a Dodge, or a GMC. If they got a diesel engine in it, it's easier to lift the body off the chassis to work
Yeah.
on the engine than to do anything. There is just no way in hell I would do that,
Yep. Well,
that Corvette of mine, that's bad enough. You can't even see the spark plugs, And then of course the car is down so low. I can't get as low as that car can go.
oh, I got you. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you babble for a minute here. I need
Okay.
I need to get my coffee.
Okay.
This one
I'll
got
start with this. It was the night before Christmas,
there you
and
go.
all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except for that damn mouse. But yeah, I don't know what to say that you're going. So maybe I'll just shut up for a minute. We'll just wait for Mark to get back. We'll talk about the weather. It's a little cloudy, a little overcasted today, but it's still warm. It's a nice day. But,
Alrighty, I'm back, sir. I'm sorry.
well, that's all right. You filled that time far better than I did. I'll tell you what. It's kind of funny. I mean, I am a conversationalist, but I need to have people to bounce off of. You leave me alone, I got nothing.
It makes it a whole lot easier, and I hate to, I do it every time.
Yeah.
I do it every time, but I talk about Kim Bear Rose, Bear
Yeah.
Rose Garage. And, again, I blame him for my channel, and the live stream especially, but I
Yeah.
know how he feels.
It is
so nice to have somebody
yeah.
to talk and give you ideas and everything.
He just strikes me as being the Mr. Rogers of automobiles.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you've been following it, especially with that Corvair that he's working on,
Yep.
he's always coming out like the last one I just watched was probably this morning. He was talking about these this bearing greasing tool that he's got.
Yep. Yeah.
And the whole time I'm sitting there watching the video, I really wasn't listening to what he was saying. I'm just thinking, this guy is the Mr. Rogers of automotive repair.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. And especially, like that.
And I mean that in the kindest sense of the term, he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
sweetheart of a guy, very pleasant, very nice, and
Yeah.
presents an image that is just a gentle person,
Well, think about it. That rear end, that first rear end that he was working on, and he's like, "Well, somebody's been in here before. They welded this,
Yeah.
and they did
But he
that."
ain't cussing them out like you see other guys doing.
No, and
you
he's
know?
like, "Well, you run into this." And he goes,
Yeah.
"I wish they wouldn't do this to these
Yeah.
rear ends."
Yeah.
And he did all that work on it. He did all
Mhm.
that work, and then the next thing you see, he's got another rear end, and he's laughing about it. He's like, "Well, so that didn't work out. I ran into so many problems, so
Yeah.
I pulled this other rear end that I had," and he goes, "I got to start over. I got to do this." And you're exactly right, because
Yeah, that's frustrating to have that kind of setback. And I'll tell you what, I would have been using different language.
that's what I was
You
getting
know?
ready to say. Yeah, I would not have been that calm, that polite. I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I'd have been saying, "Why these dumb SOBs? They
Oh yeah,
screwed me again."
yep.
And that's just it. I got to watch that because I'll tell you what, it just the automotive parts stores now are screwing you, you know,
Oh yeah.
got junk, you know, and I won't hesitate to call them out on it. You know, I had, I was in, well, I'm not going to mention the name of the store, but it's one of your big chain auto parts stores. I went in to get some brake drums for this PT Cruiser that I had. And they look like they're new drums.
Yep.
And they may have been. I wasn't exactly sure, but here's the point: one of the drums, if you've seen brake drums, rear
yes.
wheel
Yeah.
brake drums, and even the brake drums themselves have to be balanced, and you'll see
Right.
little
Yes.
counterweights
Little-
welded
yep.
to the drum.
Yep.
You know, well,
They
this
almost-
one had counterweights welded about 180 of the 360 degrees.
Okay.
And I saw that, and it just didn't click in my head at the time. But I get the drum on, and I get my brakes adjusted, and I start to rotate the thing, and you hear it scrape, scrape, scrape. I'm like, what the heck? This shouldn't be doing that on a brand new drum. It sounds like something's out of round. And I pulled it off, and I started looking at it, and that's when I did catch it. When they had machined the interior surface,
Yep.
where the brake shoes would rub against, they had that hole eccentric. It was
Right.
not center of the hub. So
Yep.
as you're rotating the drum, the hole is doing this.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
And that would explain why and here's my point, that they screwed it up right in the machine process. But
Right.
rather than throwing that part away, they just went ahead and processed it, put enough counterbalance weights on it to get it balanced, because that would have been the natural process.
Right.
That when the drum gets machined and then goes on to the next stage, which is the balancing part, you would think the guy would catch that. Well, this thing's so far out of balance
Yeah.
that it, you know,
Something's
no.
wrong.
no, they just he finds where the balance is, and he welds the part on and just sends it on, you know, because
Yeah.
they're not going to have secondary parts, you know.
Right. After the third weight that you're putting on it, it might have
You
clicked.
would think it
There
would
is
click. Yeah.
something wrong.
Yep.
Why don't we put this to the side? If not, just
Yeah.
throw it away. Let's
Yeah.
put this one to the side.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it later. We'll have somebody check it out.
Yeah.
But I know when you're moving in a process like this, you
Yeah.
don't want to spend the time either. And a lot of times, yeah.
But
All right,
you know,
something's wrong,
100 years
throw it
ago,
away. Yeah.
100 years ago, there were two other guys having this very same conversation. And it goes back because, see, once upon a time, cars were hand built,
Yes.
you know, by a team of guys, maybe 7 guys.
Yep.
And they would follow the car through one part at a time. They would build these cars. And then Henry Ford comes along and he applies the Swift method of assembly line or,
Yep.
you know, process. And where you just got one guy doing one job all the way down the line.
Yep.
It made the cars more affordable. That's why Henry Ford did what he did. But
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there were 2 guys sitting around complaining about what Henry Ford was doing because, that's the cheap, easy
Yep.
out way, you know. The car's got no quality, you know.
And you know what? To speaking along those lines, and this is a story. It goes back to World War II, and towards the end of it, when they were getting ready to drop the
The big one.
the atomic bombs and everything, those 2 aircraft that they used, they were brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, they had not been used, and the
Yeah,
pilot,
those were B-29s, right?
right,
Those were the
and
B-29, yeah.
the pilots, they went down to pick out off the assembly line the 2 aircraft, and they went down and one guy, forgive me, I don't remember their names. I do know
Yeah,
them.
I
just
don't
can't
remember
bring
either.
them up. But went down and he saw one and he liked it and he's like, "That's the one I want." And the guy in charge of the production line and everything said, "No, you don't
No,
want
you
that."
don't want that one.
And he's like, "Why?" He said, "Those guys just came off a 2-week break. That
Yeah.
whole crew."
Right.
He said, "You don't want that one."
Yeah.
I saw he's
Yeah,
got
gotta
a drill
figure it
with
out
it
now.
done. But and he said no. And he said, this other one here, he said, "You don't want that one either because they're getting ready to go for their 2-week break."
Right.
He said, "This line right here, out of these 4," he said, no problem. These
Yeah.
guys are right middle. They're in their groove. They're in their swing. They're not trying to get back into the groove, and they're not looking forward, you know, to just finishing up the day and getting the hell out of here. He said,
Yeah.
these four, he said, I'll tell you what, these four right here. He said, I know we're going to have trouble
With the other ones.
with the other ones. He said, you don't
Yeah, I
want
can
that.
relate to that. I back in the late 70s, early 80s, there in the town that I lived in, we had a U.S. Steel plant there.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, it was notorious on Fridays, these guys, instead of going to lunch, they'd go to this local tavern, and then they'd always show back up because they were union.
Yep.
Because they were union, they could show up late returning from lunch.
Yep.
You know, they'd turn a 1 hour lunch break into a 2 hour long lunch break.
Oh, yeah.
And the point is that, yeah, you didn't want to have anything from that company that was made on Friday afternoon.
Right.
But,
Right. There's, it's funny too, and this goes to automotive as well. You look at some of the casting dates and times, especially.
yeah, they got
Dodge.
the day and night shift on them.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
GM,
and,
I know GM does. And
and
that's just it. When you research that, here's the thing: I had a Pontiac engine block that I did all the research on, and the point is that the block was made. The engine actually came out of a 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix.
right.
All right, but the casting was casted. When I followed up the numbers, it was actually casted on like December 12th of 75 and went down the assembly line, which is the last. The point is that when I started checking that out, that was like the last day before that foundry went on Christmas break, and they didn't come back until the next year, you see. So it was one of the last castings produced in December. And one of the issues with the block that I had was the interior webbing was super thin, and that was because of cast shift. Well, these guys were in a hurry to, to get their shift done. Then they were stacking these castings on their ends before the blocks could cool, and it would cause this what they call the casting shift in the molds, And the point is that's it wasn't a very good casting for the engine that I had, and that's exactly the point. See, the block was casted just before they went on their vacation.
Oh yeah,
their Christmas vacation, and wouldn't return until the next year. And that block then went on down the assembly line being manufactured in 1976. That was going into 77 model year cars that were coming down the line in 76,
Yep.
So,
well,
but it was like within the first few hundred, and that's that PT Cruiser that I had. When I ran the numbers on that car was actually like within the first 200 PT Cruisers ever made. And that was a problem because when you're 10, 15 years later and you're trying to get parts for a PT Cruiser, well, you're finding a hard time finding parts for a 2001. You get the same part for a 2002, 2003, 2004.
Yep.
It's hard finding that part for that 2001 because there was a lot of design changes. That first year, there were a lot of design changes in later years because they knew that, well, this was a bad design. Let's not keep producing that, And in many cases, they wouldn't even license the aftermarket to produce the parts for it because they knew it was a bad design. There's no sense in carrying that on. So, yeah. And here's where I was going with that. That PT Cruiser was within the first 200 cars ever manufactured.
Oh, yeah.
So, and one of the bad designs was the way they designed the front suspension. I'll tell you what, it was just a bad design. And with the bushings that were in it, that seemed like every time you had to do brakes on the thing, you had to do front suspension bushings too, because they wore out so dang fast. It was just ridiculous,
Oh, I hear you. My truck at Dodge is 92, and that is it's a good truck, but it's terrible trying to get parts for it because 92, if you had the 318 in there, it was a Magnum. If you have the 360, it's an LA, but it's a roller cam LA. 93, same body style. They didn't change the body style until 94. But 93, well, now you have 318 and 360 Magnums. Okay, different computer, different everything in it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Then with that PT Cruiser.
yeah, it's damn hard because for some reason now too, especially on the computers, when they look up parts, it's very hard. I've already seen where they don't even list anything for the 360 LA. They have all the parts for Magna. I got to go to 91.
Yeah.
It's the same part. Nothing's changed, but I have to go to
Yeah.
91. If I tell them it's a 92, they don't even show the LA option anymore. It's just Magnum.
Yeah.
Magnum.
Oh no,
I'm like,
this with that Chrysler PT Cruiser. Here's one of the things. Another thing that they did that on the 2001s, where the ECM is, which is
Yep.
mounted on the under the hood up against the firewall, the dash. In 2001, they had one single connection going to the ECM.
Yep.
With just this big thick bundle of wires. It was the size of a 2-inch cable. You see. And in the next year, about halfway through 2002, they changed that up to where there were 4 separate, smaller connections going to an entirely different ECM.
Yep.
You see, and that's just it. If you needed an ECM for 2001, you was pretty well screwed. Because here's another thing too with those ECMs, they wouldn't license the aftermarket to reproduce those.
Yep.
There was another component that was part of that too. Oh, here's what they also did. The 2001s, the whole airbag system was a separate control module that was mounted down by the where the front bumper mounted. All right. And the idea there being in impacts, that control module, that's the one that controlled the airbags and everything.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
they were failing because on high impacts, the control module would fail and wouldn't deploy the airbags.
Oh, Jesus.
So they
Yeah.
had to change all of that up and move it into a different part of the car. So you'll only see that on the 2001 models where the control module that controls airbags and stuff and all the sensors that sense the impact for setting off the airbags,
Yeah. A lot of vehicles. I mean, this is just industry wide, especially when they're
Exactly.
retooling.
Exactly.
And
we could sit there and talk all day long about every car manufacturer and some of the idiosyncrasies that they have,
Yeah, and there's a few that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
All right, they just had
Yeah.
that reputation.
Yeah.
They're good vehicles, but you got your half year where they change.
Yeah.
Mid
All
year.
the mid-year stuff. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then
And that's just it. That's your warning sign. If you know of a vehicle that had a mid-year change,
Yep.
that told you, there's a problem, and
Yep.
you need to find out what the hell that is.
Harley Davidson to this day, 1979 Sportster. All right, and this was right during the transition from.
I bet I got a
AMF.
picture of one of those.
Yep. Well, this is right during the transition too, from AMF to when Willie G and the employees bought the company
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
1979 Sportster. You have literally 2 bikes the same year. You got the early 79 Sportster. Very little from the early 79 Sportster will fit on a later 79 Sportster.
Well, the early ones would have still been under AMF voice control, right?
Yep. And you would figure too.
And here's the thing: the employees of the plant where they were manufacturing them knew that was wrong. And the second that they got a chance to make it right, they made it right.
Yep. But hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
And I know they were excited and they wanted to implement all the new changes, but
that's my superpower, by the way.
Oh yeah, 2020 hindsight.
Yeah. I have a superpower of 2020 hindsight. I fly into a bad situation and tell them what they should have done.
Exactly. But like I said, looking back on it, they should have just embraced the suck for the rest of that year,
Yeah.
churned out what they had all set up for, and then retooled for
Yeah.
the next production year
Yeah.
and everything. But I understand too, they wanted to make a big change, and they did. I remember. I remember.
I'm sure that the people in that plant, that when they made the change, it was already too late, because they
Yeah.
had probably been arguing that for the last year and a half before.
Oh, almost
You know,
5 years.
And
Almost
and
5
and
years.
to
Yeah.
see the change finally come was, it was what it was.
Yep.
So,
But yeah, and they were excited, and they were trying to keep the company from
I
uh,
think that's about the time when Harley quit making dirt bikes too.
yeah, I believe so.
I remember they had a
And
125 and a 150, and then they had that trail bike. It was called the XR90 or something like that.
oh no, hold on, because my first motorcycle when I was 7 years old was a Harley Davidson SX 125, one of their dirt
Yeah,
bikes,
yeah, the one of
one
their dirt bikes.
one
They were
cylinder.
actually made in Italy, I believe.
Yes, yep, they were, and they had. Oh my God,
There
for
were
the
two
time,
cycles too.
yeah, for the time they had the Marzucci.
Yeah, I
French
was going to say
Armstrong.
Bernetti or something like that,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Marzucci. I believe I
Marzucchi.
could be saying it wrong, but they had the Italian suspension on, which was a dirt bike realm, one of the greatest front suspensions you could ever get
Yeah,
on any of the bikes at the time.
yeah.
So that was a quality part. Um, they were actually a nice little bike. I had two of them. I had a 175 that was a street version of that.
Yeah, like an enduro bike.
Well, no, the first one I had was an enduro. The other one was a street
Okay.
bike. It looked exactly like a Sportster, except it had a one-cylinder, two-stroke engine in it. The
Hmm.
frame, believe it or not, the frame was the exact same as what they used on the Sportster.
Mhm.
It was incredible. Nice bike. Wish I had it still to this day. I wish I had
They'd
both
be
of them.
collector's items by today's standards.
Oh my God, they're unbelievably expensive to get one that's in good shape.
Yeah.
But not only that, uh, oh my God, there was somewhere else I was going with this because you were talking about not only the dirt bikes that they used to make.
Yeah, that Honda XR90
Oh
or XS90
no,
trail bike.
I
And
remember.
then they had the dirt bike, a 125 and a 150, I remember.
Yeah, well, you were saying the XR. Now
Yeah,
the
XR, yeah.
XRs were actually their dirt track race bikes. They were a
Okay.
flat track. They were flat.
Okay.
Those were 750s. Um, because
Okay. Yeah.
my
See, I couldn't remember the model numbers
yeah, my dad.
exactly. It's been a long time. Remember,
Yeah.
we're going back 50 years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, I had that
More than
SX.
50 years.
I had that SX 125. Okay, and my dad knew the owner and the owner's son of the local Harley shop,
Yeah.
and so the guys were really cool. I used to hang out with them all the time down there, and that's where I learned a little bit about motorcycles.
Mhm.
And they were always helping me work on my bike. Try to soup it up a little bit because as nice as the bikes were, performance wise, they weren't all that great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Oh, they
we
were
did.
fun to ride, though.
Oh my God, yeah,
We
especially
used to
for a
ride
race
these
bike.
trails
But
up in Wisconsin all the time. These trails cutting through the woods and in uh, open land, and stuff. And it was always a lot of fun ripping around on them. They weren't as reliable as, like, I'll tell you what, Honda at that time. Honda was coming out with some of their first 4-stroke
4 strokes, yeah,
dirt bikes.
yep,
Because everything was 2-stroke
yep,
prior to that.
yep.
Honda was one of the first ones to come out with a 4-stroke.
Now
And
the
those
funny,
4-strokes proved to be reliable as hell.
well, the funny thing about that is too, depending on what you were using it for, the 4 stroke had a lot more torque back then than it did horsepower.
Yeah,
The 2 stroke,
yeah,
higher RPM, more
yeah,
horsepower
yeah.
than torque.
That was what the game plan was. Yeah, you had to high RPM. You had to
Right.
keep everything spun up,
Oh yes. Yep. Now the
and
funny
making
thing is,
noise
well,
and blowing out that expansion chamber. And
oh yeah.
a 2-stroke engine, you could hear it coming for a mile.
But the
Back in
funny
those
thing,
days.
the funny thing is, two of the bikes that I rode, one was the Harley. Now the Harley was not a high, even the two stroke was not, comparatively speaking to the other Japanese bikes, was not a high revving engine,
Yeah.
wasn't a high horsepower engine, but it would pull the hat off your head in
Yeah.
first gear. It was like a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
All right, the first 20 feet, nothing in the
Quick
world
as hell.
can beat
Yeah.
a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
Okay, after that you're screwed. But
Yeah.
anyway, that was like the Harley was. The other one was too the Can-Am, and I was sponsored by Can-Am, not for motocross, but for enduro racing. Okay, and the Can-Am was just for trials. What we called New England trials was just a timed event, and you had some rocks and everything. It wasn't the mega thing that they do now with the weird looking bikes that you never sit down on. You just stand up, ride them, and everything. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that Bombardier engine that Can-Am was using,
Yeah.
even though it was a two-stroke, it was rotary valve intake, and the torque
Yeah.
was off the chart.
Yeah.
And so I got used to low
You know,
end power.
Yeah, if you remember, just the last time we was on, I was talking about that jet boat that I had.
Yep.
It was a Bombardier boat with the 2-cycle engines in it. And I remembered I didn't have a manual for it. What I got with the boat was a computer disk
Yep.
that had the entire manual on it and that was the one thing when I went into how the engine was built and checking that all out. It's just that it had that rotary
Rotary valve intake.
rotary valve intake on it, and that was I failed to mention that last time that those engines, to those who know, that was what they call the Rotac.
Yep, Rotac.
The Rotac engine, which those were like Rotac was also building aircraft engines.
Aircraft engine. They still do to this day.
Yeah.
They still do. Yeah. And a very
So could you
popular
imagine taking that kind of technology and putting it into a little 13-foot long boat with 1,400 cc's of 4-cylinder two-stroke? That thing would scream.
Growing up in New England, everybody had
good luck getting parts. You couldn't get parts for the damn thing. You know?
Shit. Well, growing up in New England, everyone had ski mobiles. Okay.
Yeah.
And back then, the generic term for a ski mobile was called skidoo. Kind of like generic.
People called a skidoo, whether it was or it wasn't.
Right. Just like when we had copiers and we used to use them, everyone called them Xerox.
Yeah.
Use
Right. Xerox copy. No matter what brand. Yeah.
They were one of the first ones. Well, they were one of the most popular.
Yeah.
Way
the
back
companies, the companies that held those names, they loved it. I know a guy that he was one of the executives at Kimberly Clark Corporation, and they just loved the idea that people were calling all facial tissue Kleenexes.
Kleenex, exactly. Yeah, it's the same principle.
They loved it.
Well,
and their marketing department would do just that. They would press that idea because they wanted people to make the association between facial tissue and Kleenex.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. My father got a hold of a 1969.
That's just successful marketing.
My father got a hold of a 1969 Ski-Doo. Friggin' bright yellow. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was used. It looked a little tired, and I was only about six years old or so, 7 years old. No, I'm sorry. I was about 10 years old. And like I said, everybody had ski mobiles. And forgive me, but when I say that, I will probably go back to what we used to say. Everybody had skidoos back then.
Yeah.
Problem
we pronounce it a little differently, but
yeah,
called them ski-doos.
Right. But they weren't actually skidoos. Okay.
Yeah, right.
A friend of ours had an Arctic Cat.
Arctic, yeah.
And that was, it's like, hey man, I got a 1969 Harley.
Yeah.
All right. And this guy's like, yeah, well, I got a 2000 Ninja.
Right.
Let's go race. Okay. And that's what we did. I mean, he's got a 4-cylinder,
Yeah.
4-stroke engine in that damn thing. And I don't even remember what the Ski-Doo had.
I remember, this is probably back about 1990. One of the most cleverest things that I saw in marketing was Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
They were taking out these full-page ads in all these magazines. And at the time, I was reading Easy Rider magazine.
Oh,
And it was right
yeah.
in the centerfold. And all it was a picture of a Zippo lighter next to a Bic lighter.
Yes.
And it just said one philosophy versus another. You see?
Yes.
And the Zippo lighter had the Harley Davidson logo on the Zippo lighter.
Right.
you know?
Yes. I remember
And,
that ad.
yeah.
Yes.
And I saw another one where you see a Harley next to a Japanese bike, and
Yep.
the guy's on the Japanese bike saying, "You want to race?" And the guy on the Harley says, "Yeah, in about 20 years."
Yeah. Yep. There you go. But it-
I'll raise you 20 years from now. Let's see how.
But I'll tell you what, that old Ski-Doo that I had went up against this Arctic Cat. All right. We had a big field that we could
Yeah.
go through and everything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. If that field had been just another 50 yards longer, I would have lost.
Yeah.
But that 2-stroke, even though it was a much smaller engine, but again, the Ski-Doo was a lot lighter too, and I'm only 10 years old. I didn't weigh shit. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, went up against that Arctic Cat, and oh man, I'll tell you what, that thing sounded nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that literally almost sounded like either what you consider a Harley or a Chevy V8, when it was sitting there. It
Yeah.
sounded nice. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting there with the ring, ting, ting, ding, 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 ring, ting, 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 ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
But man,
In my hometown when I was a
he could not
teenager,
catch
that was
me.
just it. See, we was a river town.
Yep.
And every winter, that river would freeze over solid, and we'd have snowmobile drag races right on the river.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And we lay it out we actually had 1/4-mile long tracks.
yeah.
And then you still had, miles of shutdown lane on a frozen. But it would be just that. They'd wait for the river to freeze over solid, and they'd actually get out there with snow plows and actually plow lanes
Oh yeah.
for you to go down, We'd have
Oh, yeah.
snowmobile draggers. And it didn't take long before that whole thing just snowballed, if you will. And guys would start modifying their snowmobiles. The first time I ever learned of nitrous injection was a guy that took a 2-cycle snowmobile engine and put nitrous oxide on it, and it went like crazy.
Oh,
In
my
fact,
God,
the
yeah.
skis never touched the snow
No, yeah.
for the whole 1/4 mile.
Yeah.
That thing rocked back on that track and just stayed there. And how he'd keep it in his lane was just sit there and lean on the
Yep.
thing like you would a bike, trying to keep it straight. But hey, listen, with that being said, I need to get off this line here.
All
And
right.
I got to get things done. So,
I
because I got
gotcha.
people coming and I don't have much time left and I got a lot to do. So,
All
with
right.
that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and sign off here. Okay.
All right, sir. Well, hey, as always, thank you for showing up.
Sure.
I love you being here. And you know
Mhm.
what? Before you go, there's one thing I wanted to say. We got our own private numbers and everything. I can get a
Yeah.
hold of you.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy having you on. And if you don't mind, make plans for the future. I'll try and get done on a Saturday, get this going on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I would like to have you, honestly, as a co-host.
All right.
You know,
I don't know about co-host, probably cohort, a
Yeah.
cohort in crime.
yeah, same thing, But yeah, if you don't mind, because I really enjoy
Well,
talking to you, and I love it.
I'll make it a point to keep my Saturday mornings open.
All right,
you
sir.
know, So, but because Saturday mornings is everything kind of works kind of slow around here. You don't want to start making too much noise, But I'll tell you what, people around here know that in the damn summertime, I'm going to fire up my lawn tractor 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I don't care if it pisses them off because I'm not going to be out there at 10:30 or 11 a.m. when it's already 97 damn degrees.
Yeah, and not to mention the humidity.
Yeah, they can push my butt.
Yep, I gotcha. All
Yeah,
right, sir. Well, hey, look, you have yourself a good day, and
yeah, you
I'm
too.
actually going to try and get on again before New Year's. But if not, I will see you next year, next Saturday.
All right.
All right, sir.
All right. All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
We'll see you. All righty. That's awesome. I love having Philip on. You know, it's so nice uh to have somebody else on to, like Philip was saying, to bounce things off, keep the conversation going and everything. And with that being said, I will be back. I'm not going to end this just yet, but I do have to take care of something real quick. And to be honest with you, and don't tell the wife, I'm going to see if I can't connive my brother-in-law to run to the store and get some beer. It's Oh my god, yeah. It's 11 o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, hey, and I have somebody watching me too, also. That's awesome. Alrighty. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, talking about some old automotive stuff and vehicles and everything. And was also mentioning Bear Rose Garage. Please check out his channel. He is such an awesome guy. And I mean, he is just, well, like Philip said, he's like the Mr. Rogers of the Hot Rod group. Um, awesome, awesome man. Good channel, good content, and he knows what he's doing. With that being said, you know, he's talking about how he keeps his calm and, you know, just goes with the flow when he's working on stuff. I I'm not like that. He really loves what he's doing also, and he's good at it as well. I can relate to that in this area. I don't have a whole lot of videos of me actually working with wood, but I do have quite a few of the things that I built. And I got a lot of friends that are fabricators and they work with metal. I can't stand working with metal. Metal to me is you use brute force to make it do what you want it to do. Okay. And I'm not a big guy and I'm not into that. It's also the automotive stuff. I love mechanical stuff. I'm not really all that thrilled about working on it. I love to see the way it works. I love, you know, figuring things out. I really do. But my actual passion and the thing that calms me down is woodworking. And what I like about the woodworking is, and here's the difference between that I see, my opinion, between working with metal, working with wood. You can take any piece of scrap metal, any piece of new metal, any piece of metal. You can look at it and go, I'm going to bend you to my will. I'm going to make you into what I want. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a lot of work. Okay. With wood, no, it's a lot more, you need more patience. And I know it's hard to explain. I know you all have heard this before, but you let the piece of wood tell you what it wants to be. You can't always force the wood to your will. And in a stack of wood, no matter if it's 2x4s, no matter what it is, there's a lot of times I will go through it and I'll be like, oh, this is a beautiful piece of wood, but it's not going to bend to my will. I'm not going to be able to make it do what I want it to do. And that's a shame because it's a beautiful piece of wood. If it would do what I want it to do, it would be gorgeous. But the wood is telling me, no, I'm not going to work that way. I want to do something different. And that's through experience. Yeah, you can try to force it, but it isn't, trust me, it isn't going to turn out right. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it turns out better. I've had that happen. And it's kind of like Bob Ross. You know, you have happy little accidents and they turn out better than what you expected. Different, but better. But that's one of the things I like working with wood. It has its own personality. It has its own wants and desires. Sometimes you can come to a compromise. Sometimes you just have to say, as much as I love the way you look, you're not the piece I'm going to use for this particular project. I have to go find a different piece. And that's a little bit of understanding. It takes time to figure that out too, but it also takes a love of working with the wood. And I enjoy that. It calms me down. As long as somebody's not standing over my shoulder going, "What? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? How come you're doing it this way? Why can't you do it that way?" There's more than one way to do anything. Sometimes I like doing it, quote unquote, the hard way, for the simple fact I know from experience that it's going to turn out better than doing it the easy way. A lot of times I just don't know any better. You know, it's the way I've been doing it. And I don't know any better. And I'm up for learning. That's one of the great things, both about everything that's on my channel: cooking, cast iron, camping, woodworking, automotive. There's so much I still can learn. You know, there's that's something about life. It's an adventure. You keep learning, learn something new. And if you fail, try it again. You only succeed really through trying. If you never try, you won't know whether you fail or succeed. And if you fail, well, learn from your mistakes, try it again. You get better each time. I mean, there's a lot of people say, hey, well, how'd you learn to do this? Well, I learned how to do it properly, or at least in a way that works, by the 100 times I did it the wrong way or the way it didn't work. And I learned each time from my mistakes. And I'm no expert on anything. I'm not a craftsman. I'm not a master craftsman. I don't even know if I'd call myself a journeyman. I'm more, I consider myself on everything I do a bit of a hack, but it works. It works for me. It's most of the time, not always, but most of the time. And that's one of the things about this channel that I try to get across is get out there and try it. Do something. Don't just watch me do it. And with that being said, the woodworking, I get into it, and it's a mindset for me too, and it's relaxing. And one of the reasons why I don't make videos of what I actually do is for the simple fact I get into it. And I hate stopping so I can get the camera angle and I can explain what I'm doing. I'm not a good teacher. I can do the stuff, and a lot of times I can't tell you why I do something the certain way. I know why, because it works. and I figured it out, but I don't have the proper vocabulary. I'm not articulate enough um, to actually always explain it. There's a lot of leeway with wood. Um, you can have three people make the same thing. They can look identical, but the process of getting there can be so different. And it's that and I don't want to teach people the wrong way either. I don't want that responsibility. And as many woodworking tools as I do have, just like with the automotive tools, I don't have everything that's specifically designed for this, that, or the other thing. Sometimes, for the gearhead, sometimes I have to use a screwdriver as a chisel. Okay. Uh, Same with woodworking. Sometimes I have to use a tool that was never designed for that purpose, but it works. A lot of times, yeah, it's not good for the tool. It's not good for the thing I'm working on, but it works. Just like automotive, sometimes I don't know that there is a specific tool that exists for doing what I want to do. And so I hack my way through it with something else, but I make it work. And yeah, but I can't say woodworking is a passion, but I do love it. And that's honestly, that's my little escape. That's my little getaway. When I have an idea, something I want, and like anything else, I can figure if do I want to make it just utilitarian and usable? Do I want to make it look nice and be usable, or is it just decorative? And then you start the process with let me find the right pieces of wood. Let me talk to the wood. Let me feel the wood. Let me listen to the wood. What is it? Is it going to work for what I want? And I find that so relaxing. A lot of people don't like sanding either. I do. I do, and that's why I do a lot of hand sanding. I just get into the zone, and I can feel the wood. I can feel how it's changing and what it needs, and it again, it quote unquote tells me what needs to be done. And the nice thing about that is too, if it gets an attitude and starts arguing, well then hell, I got power tools, and on a few things I will make it do what I want it to do. Not that often. A lot of times it doesn't work out, but there are a few times where yes, I can force it to my will. I try not to do that, but I don't know. It's something I enjoy doing. With that being said, yeah, I'd also, and I've done it before, but I don't like making the same thing over and over and over again. Two or three of the same thing, depending on what it is, of the exact same thing with the exact same templates, which I do have templates that I've made so that I can reproduce some of the things that I've made. But I'm not big into that. I like doing things a little different. And sometimes the reason why I have the templates too is because you do need to make more than one, and they have to be similar, if not exact, but as close to the same as possible. And the nice thing is too, I mean, some of them, all right, th- these are made out of yellow pine. These are made out of white pine. All right, this is made out of oak. This is made out of walnut. Ooh, I got a piece of apple wood. I wonder what that'll look like. Or I got a piece of cherry, or I've got birch, or, whatever. You can try different woods with the same design and they look totally different. Not to mention that, but the different stain, what colors do you want and stuff like that. It it's pretty cool. And the quality of the wood too. See, I like making a lot of stuff out of pallet wood. And the pallet wood is not all just pine or oak. Um, I get a lot of pallets that do have fruit trees in them. Um, a lot of those come from Europe, but I also like um, me personally. I like distressed looking wood, um, and so I do. I like the nail holes. I like the black that gets around the nail holes, and stuff like that. It makes it look old and distressed. Um, I had family member that is just a master craftsman. I mean, Norm Abram has nothing on this guy. And about 20 years ago, one of his big sellers was distressed wood. And he was sitting there and he's like, man, I got this beautiful wood that I'm using, to make tables, make whatever. He said, not a blemish on it. He goes, they're not selling. But you know what? He said, I have a heavy old chain, ball peen hammer, and if I beat the hell out of them and then stain them, oh, I can't make enough. People are wanting the distressed looking wood. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I'm making the same thing out of free pallet wood, and I can't keep them. He's like, I could hear the silence. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I'm using old pallet wood, reclaimed wood too, stuff from old buildings that's already distressed. He's like, oh my God. Because it was killing him to beat up this unblemished wood that he had. And he's like, oh God. So he started doing that. He started getting reclaimed wood, a lot better quality than what I was getting. But then he started feeling better about it because instead of it getting burnt and cut up and wasted, he was actually saving it and turning it into something usable that's going to be around for another 100 years, long after he's gone. So that's pretty cool too. That's one of the things I do like about the wood as well, is that pretty much most of the stuff I build is going to be around when my grandkids have grandkids. I mean, I most of the stuff I build is very solid. And not that it's high end furniture or anything, but it looks nice. And it also it depends on what you want, the look you're looking for. And nothing against Norm Abram and the new Yankee Workshop. I mean, my God, that man is skilled. That man is definitely skilled. But one of the things that used to kill me is that he would get this exotic wood and he'd make something just outlandishly beautiful and everything fit together so well. And he sands it down and you can see the natural grain in it and it looks beautiful. And he would paint it. You know, if you're going to paint wood, why are you using 100-year-old cypress that was reclaimed from the bottom of a river? Why not use just, new oak or pine? I mean, why bother? Nobody's going to know looking at it. They're not going to look at it, something that's painted, green or blue or whatever, and go, oh my God, that cypress, that is gorgeous. No. You could have two of them together, one made out of oak, one made out of cypress, one made out of pine. You could have all three. They're all going to look the same when they're painted. So why use? Why paint it? Oh, it always bothered me. Same with a lot of old houses I moved into where, they'll buy it and they got this gorgeous wood trim around every window, around all the doors and everything, and they go in and they paint it white. No. If you're going to do that, pull the trim off, replace it with this new pine trim, paint it. Keep the old trim. You can sell that for more. You can make enough money off of that trim to justify buying new pine trim and putting it up. You can break even. Well, nowadays you can. I know back 30 years ago, no, you couldn't do that. But good Lord. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was rambling about that. But yeah, I guess since Philip is gone and I'm going to run out of things to ramble about, I guess I'll call this done. I've been on for an hour and a half, a little bit better. And I hope you all have yourselves a happy new year if I don't get back on to see you. And hope you had a good Christmas. Everybody else seemed to. And anyway, I wish you all a happy new year. And y'all take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. And we're looking for the off button here. There we go. Y'all take care. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everyone coming by, popping in and saying hi and everything. And so, like I said, I'm going to end this and hope you all have a happy new year. Y'all take care.